guys, it's Amber here. Thank you so much for joining me today on my channel, Plan Aloud. And today is gonna be, of course, a fun plan with me. This time it's gonna be a little different, guys. This is my wellness planner. And I haven't showed this planner yet because there are some things that I track in here personally. So I don't typically, of course, like to share those things and some help things that I don't want to be out in the streets. I'm just going to show you how I typically decorate this planner. It's usually pretty simply decorated. It's nothing over the top. So if that's what you're looking for, sorry. But I did want to show you guys, if you are using this and you are actively planning in it, how I actually use it. So I'm going to actually show you my planner. Let's actually set those to the side. And I'm going to show you my current week and how I typically set this up. I usually use my sidebar for whatever I want to track. These are things I need to do for like the week ahead to prepare myself. I have my morning affirmations up here. This is something I track under here that of course I don't want people to see, so got it covered up. I write my meals here, and I also write my meals here. I know that it looks weird that I kind of split it, but then also have movement through here. So it's nourish, movement, and take note. And I just write it under take note because there's nothing else I really need to take note for. Except for the things that I'm putting in my sidebar. And yeah, you see there's hardly any stickers on here, but I still wanted to show you just in case you're having a difficult time using your wellness planner and the different things that are being tracked. So let's just go ahead and get started. Oh, let me put this in here. And you can see I have not done any movement. And that is simply because I haven't. It's something that I honestly haven't done in like 2 or 3 weeks. I'm meeting with my dietitian really soon, and she is probably not going to be too happy when she hears that, but I've honestly been really mentally struggling a little bit lately, so there's that. These are the 2 books I pulled out, Wellness Warrior and Life is Sweet. The purples and stuff in here kind of match, so that's why I pulled it in. So with that said, let's pop open this book. I do want to put a few decorative elements in here, but not too much because I actually need the space to write. That is why this one is not super overly decorated. I use most of the space. You've seen in there, like I use almost all that space, so really need it. That's why it's not super decorated. Let's see, there's a whole page of washi, and I usually put washi over here to cover this up because I don't need anything. Like it says, reflect on, today was, thankful for, focusing on, looking forward, daily gratitude, loving this. I don't need that. I need more space to write my meals because I have to track all my meals. I have to say I had a half a cup of rice. I had a half a cup of, you know, whatever it was. So I think I want to use, let's see, here's all the washi. Let's use purple. I don't know if it will fit all the way across. I don't think I have enough purple to go all the way across, but I typically just use the washi that's in the book, and we'll use different colors depending. Like this is usually for my eyes, so it's not like a big deal. Let's actually use these cute, I don't know if it will fit all the way across though. Let's see, I think this is only gonna go across 2, and that's only gonna go across 1. You want to know something? Let's do this. We're gonna do these flowers. Go across here. use all the flowers. And this is the planner where nothing's perfect. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't have to be. You know? Because this is like my incredibly functional, getting down to the nitty-gritty, you know? So that's why there's just not a lot of very tedious happenings in here. Okay, so we got our washi, which is always like my biggest thing, is to like cover up. So I'm gonna go into Wellness Warrior and see if there's anything that I want to reflect on. Let me see what I'm reflecting on this week. So I have morning routine and bath routine, or bedtime routine. So let me see. Let's actually pull out goals and see if we have anything to match, because I actually really do like tracking those. Like it really like made me go, So let's see. So I do have a bedtime one. And let's see if I have a morning one. So we're gonna just use these purple ones because they go. I usually do the same thing like kind of like 2 times in a week, which makes it easy for me. So I'm gonna put this flush here. Oh wait, it's definitely not flush. I wouldn't have to cut off any letters if it was. So this one is a little bit more, like I said, this is highly functional for me. You guys can do your own thing. I just want to give ideas. Or is there anything you guys are doing in your like life to help you with your wellness, or mental, physical, emotional, all the things? That would be helpful for me. I personally really get a lot of use out of affirmations and meditation, and everybody's going to benefit from working out, movement, you know. So what I did is, I added another little box. So let's see if we can find another little box, but let's see if we can find it in Life is Sweet. Let's see. I need 2 like thin boxes, like header boxes. That's what we like to call them, right? I don't know if there are any header boxes in here. I may have used them all, you know. I really like this book. I've noticed that I haven't used a lot of like the cream colors and the tans. Mostly the purples. And I haven't really used the greens either. I don't know, to me the greens are just like, what are you doing in here? So let's go into Wellness Warrior. See if I can find something in here. This, yep, see, perfect. Let's do these dark purple ones down here. Grab 2 of them. I like these because they're ombre. I really like these. And I just honestly just covered these up. Then I'm going to cut them off because this one's crooked. When I was cutting it, I knew it was crooked and I still didn't care. So we're going to do the same thing. I've been doing deep breathing before going to work. Deep breathing. and I do it for 10 minutes, and it honestly just helps me stay focused and, you know, like not bring my like negative energy anywhere. I can honestly say I've been in a better mood, period. And we're gonna stretch. And I like to stretch right before sleep. So I usually, my night routine is I finish dinner, I eat dinner, I take a shower, and that's when I kind of turn down my lights, and I will then work at my desk. And I usually am either, right now I'm reading this little book from my mentor. It's a little easy read. Let me see if I can find it on my desk. If you guys could see my desk, it's a hodgepodge of a hot mess. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? It's a super easy book, but I like to either sit and read at my desk. I have a candle going, and then right before I actually get in the bed, for probably like the last hour, hour and a half, I will watch videos of YouTubers like journaling or creating their bullet journals, or, you know, planner babes like setting up their planner, you know, whatever it is. It all has to do with planners, journaling, scrapbooking, junk journaling. That's the last hour and a half to 2 hours before I go to sleep. And then 15 minutes, like I go to my room and turn down the lights, and I have a crystal light, like one of those salt crystals. Turn that on, put on instrumental music, and I'll stretch for 15 minutes. My son actually really likes to join me when I do that. He says it's his cozy time with me, which I think is sweet. And we'll stretch for 15 minutes, and I lay down and I pretty much fall asleep. My husband says I've been falling asleep so fast, which is good. But yeah, that is my nighttime routine, because I personally need a nighttime routine. The only 2 nights I don't have a nighttime routine is Saturday and Sunday, and that is because I work nights on those days. And these are going to be my to-dos for the week ahead. To-dos for the week ahead. Oops. I put that as a H and not a D. Yeah. So I'm not going to show you what I track here because, like I said, it is personal, but I will put in some dots because that's not going to hurt. Let's see, do I have another place for dots, or do I have any flags? I think these are the only dots I have in here. I used to not like dots, guys, and I have been loving dots lately, and little flags for that matter. I grabbed these little flags this time. So we have, there's 3 things that I track on the side. So do that. Last time I just put like a quote down here, but I think I'm just gonna put some florals, and I think I'm gonna use florals that I have not used, which are these like cream colored florals, because why not? It's not gonna hurt. Like the book that I'm reading, it's called Who Moved My Cheese? And it's basically it's a really good book. I want my son to actually read the book because I feel like it's our own mindsets that continuously keep us back from trying new things, trying, you know, to move outside of our own box and our comfort zone, which is basically what the book is about. There's 4 characters in the book, and I feel like everybody can see themselves in like 1 or 2 of those characters, maybe all of them at some point in your life. I could definitely see everybody being some of those characters, but I don't know. I feel like I could see in my past I was one of the characters, and in my present I am a different one, and I like to see that growth in myself, you know? I feel like last year my word of the year was change, but I honestly don't feel I was actively pursuing that. And this year I am. So I haven't done a video on like my word of the year. I don't think I'm ever going to. I actually plan to stay with the exact same word because I think I had to mentally prepare myself last year for the change. This year I'm doing the physical work and the labor to do the change. And I think that's really cool. So maybe I didn't actually do any changing last year, but I definitely have like mentally changed the way I have been thinking. So I guess I did. I guess I did do some of the work last year, because then I wouldn't have been able to get to this point now to say, you want to know something? I am changing, you know? I think that's really cool. I feel like super proud of myself. The one thing that I wish I would change more is my working out, because I was listening to this podcast the other day, and to me this is something that really like stood out to me, and it was, she said, I really hate working out, but my 40-year-old self is going, or not my 40-year-old self, my 45-year-old self is going to appreciate me working out now instead of my 45-year-old self waking up and feeling 45. And that really resonated with me, and I'm definitely one of those people that think of these things and internalize these things, and it takes me a while to like physically do the change, but I definitely, it's something that has to basically be implanted into my mind before I can actually do the change, if that makes sense. Like, I think that's why I was not changing last year, and that's why I was just kind of like rolling with the punches, you know? I don't want to have to get out my crocodile. Sorry, my voice is like changing. This, I believe this is my 2nd or my 3rd video I'm recording today. So my voice is just getting a little raspy from being a chitty chatty box, which is fine. That's really cute. I feel like this is the most I've decorated my planner in this particular planner in a very long time. So I'm actually pretty proud of myself for this. I'm like really pushing myself out of my own comfort zone. So I like that. I like that in myself. Do you ever get excited when you see yourself? You can see yourself changing. Right now, I don't physically see myself changing, but I can. It's very mental for me. It is incredibly mental, and that really excites me. Because if I'm like, I'm mentally there, I'm gonna be physically there very, very soon. And I like that. Let's get some purple. And this is basically where I just track like my affirmations and my meditation. I will not bore you guys with me writing them in. I am gonna write them in, but I'm not gonna bore you guys with writing them in. And I'm just gonna change the flags every day because that's what I like to do. And then there's something else that I track underneath, but I don't like to put a flag on it because The flag is where I do a check off for like my meditation and affirmation. And then underneath is where I actually have to physically write something in. That's why. And honestly, I think that will be it. I don't really do too much else in this planner. I will jump to the end of this video because honestly, this is all I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna write in meditation and affirmation, and I'll be back. Okay guys, so here is all my stickers down and all my meditation and affirmations are written in. There are some things that I'm not going to write in because they are personal. And this is basically how my week always has been starting off. I do like to take, I don't know which marker I should use this week. Let's get a notepad and show you. Here it is. Which color should I use? Oh, I think that's too dark. Oh, I think they're both too dark actually. Let's see. I do have this one by oh yeah, that's better. Okay, so these ones are mild liner, way too dark, and this is my Erin Condren. So I used to do this in my regular planner sometimes, but I like doing it in this planner now because, like I said, I don't put too many stickers or things in here. Not too much decoration, since it's my very functional health, wellness, you know, tracking my food and all that stuff. How cute. And I usually don't do this, but I'll do this with you guys here. This usually is for Nourish as well, so I might as well go in Wellness Warrior and get a sticker to cover that up. Maybe I should get that same sticker, maybe not. Let's actually switch it up. And this box is a little bit tan and a little bit purple because of the ombre. I would normally white it out, but I honestly don't care that much right now. And I'm gonna write Nourish as well. I don't know how they give you that much room to write your meals of the day. I mean, I guess maybe if you're just saying, oh, I had some chicken, some rice, and some broccoli, that's fine, but I have to write down I had a tablespoon of ketchup, so I need a lot more room. So when I usually write my meals, I do breakfast and a snack, and I do breakfast, a snack, and I'll start my lunch up here and end it here, a snack, and then my dinner. And at the very bottom, I'll just write it in a couple boxes so you guys can see. I write 40 and I darken in a box, skip a box. This is honestly the only time I like grid, otherwise I don't like it. But I have to track my water because I'm always trying to get 120 plus ounces of water in my body. I've been successful a handful of times, but this is what I usually track at the very, very bottom of this Nourish box. So I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm not gonna bore you guys with the rest of that. But yes, this is my wellness planner that is set up for March 4th through the 10th. And the books that I used is Life is Sweet, Wellness Warrior, and Goals. If you like this, plan with me and, you know, the whole detailing of how I use my wellness planner, you should definitely give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, comment, click the notification so you'll be notified when I post content. Thank you so very much for joining me, and remember to have a beautiful one and to try something new. It's not gonna hurt. Bye guys.